Okay, well here we are. It's March the 19th, and we're viewing the inside of the cello instrument that we have restored. And I'm getting a view of this because we had to do a special adjustment to the neck, and we added some wooden dowels to support the neck portion so that the fingerboard would never have a chance of collapsing. And so I think we're at the end of the project now. So I'm going to back away here and then come up here and show you all the progress that we've made so far. So anyways, it's been approximately 23 days. The cello was terminally fractured into a million pieces on February the 24th. It was a Tuesday afternoon, and so we have been working on it since. So we've managed to complete all of the fine finish work on the cello. One of the key issues that we had when we did address the bridge and the neck and the fingerboard was that we did have to place special dowels in the frame of in the body of the cello to attach the neck portion back onto the instrument, and that was kind of tricky. And then we also added another feature here. We added a micarta ivory nut, which will be the adjustment range for the strings here by the dowels that the pegs that actually make the adjustments to the strings. That portion of the cello, thankfully, was not injured. For some reason, it survived without a scratch, so we're real lucky about that. But we were able to restore probably the most critical part of this whole project, which was this fingerboard. As you can see, there's still a slight little hint of a fracture, but the piece was actually in three pieces at one point, and it was especially difficult in testing our ability to put it back together without any issues as far as the curvature and the contours of the natural wood. And we were able to do that by using several vices, and in some points we used rubber bands to hold the piece with pressure. It's kind of tricky, but you got to be innovative when you're doing this kind of stuff because, well, first of all, we've never done it before, so we kind of made it up as we went along. And so in the previous videos, we did explain the process of the distressed look on the wood. We had to do that to kind of disguise all of the cracks. There was so many fractures on this piece that when we finally did put it all back together again, we decided to go ahead and disguise some of those fractures so they would be part of the actual facade of the instrument. And so I think it's turned out pretty nice. Everybody that's seen it is in agreement. So also another thing that's very important, as was previously stated in some of our other video, some of the other video captions, is the contour of the bridge as it relates to the fingerboard. It's very close in its contour. That's so that the strings align at about the same distance from the fingerboard at all times, and so those measurements are very critical and have to be very precise. So we've been able to do that. And some of the other fractures that remained on the cello were pretty well disguised and pretty tucked away. We have one right here that was real evident before. It was real bad. And this piece actually flew off. All of this coming around from here, it was separated from the instrument. And so we've managed to disguise most of all of the real evident fractures, and the piece came back together pretty well. I think some of the other portions of the wood will break before our seams will. We also did some real fine work on the back, and we left one segment of the back with as you can see, it's very clean work. It wasn't really badly fractured, but it was scratched up, so we refinished it. But we left this Frankenstein mark here so that people would understand the severity of the fractures that destroyed the instrument, practically destroyed it, I should say. And so we were able to put it all back together, and we left this kind of for posterity. And I think the instrument is real close to being ready to be restrung. We have to let this all of these acrylics and all of the resins that were used to mend the instrument, we want them to be under heat exposure. The heat lamps will keep it drying and curing, and we want to build a real hard crust so that it's very difficult for any scratches to occur at a later date. So that's part of what we're waiting for now. Is we're ready to assemble the instrument, to put all of the parts back into their position, including the base plate that takes the actual extension rod. And so the instrument is ready. We're going to leave it a few more days. One thing we don't want to take a chance on is bringing in all of the final components that have some type of pressure to them. For example, this pivot point here where the harness for the strings goes, the adjustment that goes here, it actually straps on to the tail end of the cello, and that harness could cause some pressure to occur on the paint job, so we don't want to take any chances on that. And also the pressure of the string and the bridge pressure, we don't want to have these marks be permanently embedded on the instrument. So we're letting this final phase of our restoration project. This is probably the easiest part, is just letting time do its work and letting heat do its curing. These lamps that we have surrounding the piece will serve as a kind of a heat incubation and evaporate all of the catalysts that are used in the hardeners for these acrylics. So with all for now, we're going to come back to the cello one last time, I think, and we'll be able to hear the piece actually playing its first notes, and we're hoping that those notes are sweet and rich and full of melody, and not squeaky and unrecognizable. So we don't think that's going to be the case, but we won't know until we try. So anyways, here we are, 23 days into the project, and we're real close, and all we can say is we'll be back, and we're looking forward to it. You all have a great day, and talk to you soon.